HarperCollins and Harper Audio present Unknown Valor, a story of family, courage, and sacrifice from Pearl Harbor to Iwo Jima, by Martha MacCallum, with Ronald J. Drez. This is Martha MacCallum. For Dan, Elizabeth, Reed, and Harry. From Admiral Chester W. Nimitz. Among the Americans who served on Iwo Island, uncommon valor was a common virtue. From Cardinal Mercier's pastoral letter, as quoted by G.B. Erskine, Major General Commanding, 3rd Marine Division. Greater love than this no man hath, said our Savior, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And the soldier who dies to save his brothers and to defend the hearths and altars of his country reaches this highest of all degrees of charity. A note before we begin. For maps illustrating the attack plans on D-Day, the assault on Peleliu, zone of action progress lines, and more, don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/audio/unknownvalor. Introduction. War Plan Orange. From an imperial inscription at mass gravesite of Christians. So long as the sun shall warm the earth, let no Christian be so bold as to come to Japan, and let all know that if he violate this command, he shall pay for it with his head. It's almost impossible to understate how little Americans knew about Japan before World War II. In 1853, the Empire of Japan was known only to the civilized world as a shadowy, mist-covered island kingdom somewhere east of China. There lived fierce warriors who brooked no intrusion from the outside. Their quarantine was absolute. No one had pried open the door, although many had tried. Marco Polo had regaled his Venetian audiences with enchanting tales of a great island to the east of Cathay. It was 1295, and the explorer beguiled enraptured listeners with tales of that enigmatic, alluring place. They imagined the equivalent of the lost continent of Atlantis, the Fountain of Youth, or the 7 cities of Cibola. Explorers and merchants sought to lift the veil on the Japanese kingdom, but all failed. Even the great armies of Kublai Khan, who had overrun the rest of Asia and terrorized Europe, had been hurled back in defeat when they dared to storm the Japanese wall. Only faith had opened the door, and only a little. Jesuit, Dominican, and Franciscan missionaries had been allowed entry in the 1500s. They baptized more than 200,000 Japanese as Christians. But in 1639, the door had slammed shut. The imperial establishment deemed Christianity a threat, and the backlash was brutal. Crucifixions, beheadings, and burnings at the stake laid waste to what was seen as heresy against the rulers. When the last Christians had been murdered, the black curtain of absolute exclusion and secrecy again shrouded Japan. The Dutch were permitted a small trading post as a reward for having participated in the persecution, using their enormous cannons to batter down the walls of their fellow Christians' strongholds. In 1831, a Japanese vessel sailing the eastern Pacific Ocean was engulfed by the wind and waves of a great storm. The battered vessel did not sink, but was blown way off course. The crippled ship made landfall near the Columbia River on the coast of the Washington Territory of the United States. Local British and American settlers saved 7 desperate Japanese seamen, but a return to their homeland 7,000 miles away was hopeless. They lived in exile in North America for 6 years. In 1830...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?